Hey, so I'm back with a little video. Been just doing a little bit of testing. So I'm in, what is this, Scarsdale, and I'm heading to the Bronx right now. So, and it's raining, so I've never done a video in for FSD during the rain. I've driven in the rain, but I've never shot a video. I'm actually trying out a new action view on the Insta 360 Ace Pro 2, so I'm trying this new view. Normally I usually do ultra wide, and so I kind of like this view. It does, only thing it doesn't do is it's kind of it's a little further away than the other ultra wide view, so I don't think you guys can see the screen as clearly or as good because it gives that like POV view. But I kind of like the POV view from when I'm looking at it, so I'm gonna see how it comes out once I actually go home and edit it and then upload it to YouTube to see how it comes out. But I was actually doing some testing the last couple of days between if I should switch a camera. So I do have the Insta360 Ace Pro 2, so I did purchase the DJI Osmo 6 action camera to see, because I was having issues, and you probably seen it in some of my videos, which I'm also learning because I'm new to YouTube and uploading videos and editing and things like that, with sun glare and things like that, with blowing out my footage at times when it's really sunny. So I saw someone else post a video and they were using a DJI Osmo 5 Pro, and I like the way their footage looked. But I don't think it just comes from just a camera. It comes from settings. So I was tweaking settings on that camera and kind of like tweaking settings on this camera as well too, to see what would give me like the best picture. One of the things I did skip, so still on the same software. What is this? The general software is 2026 14.6, and
Auto mute
hey,
memory.
the car's straight there. What are you doing? It's my turn to go. Like, I don't get it. So back to what I was saying. The software is the same software before 2026.14.6, and FSD software is 12.6.4. So no changes here on any of the software. So we're just gonna see how it handles. You know, it's not a downpour, but it's raining. The how hard the rain is changing. So when I was coming out here earlier to this customer's house, it was raining a little harder. So I see now that the rain is not as heavy. It's a little bit much lighter, should you say. So I mean, still, for whatever reason with hardware 3, and I think this is an issue that is not hardware 4 doesn't, oh my god, oh lord, hardware 4 doesn't have it. It says FSD may be degraded. I mean, I don't know if it's as much in hardware 4. I think it does still do it, but not nearly much. I mean, I don't think it bothers the car that much as in performance, because I've never seen it have an issue with performance, and these people just do not abide by stop sign rules. It's just crazy. They think that once they stop, they go, and that's just not the way it goes. That guy to the right, I already was stopped. He was rolling, and so technically he should have came to a full stop, and then I would have had the right to go. He's only got the right of way if he's actually stopped before me, or if we get stopped at the same time. So I don't understand how people deal with these stop signs, or how they operate stop signs. I don't see how they wouldn't get a lot of tickets. If they were in Brooklyn, they would get tons of tickets, because in Brooklyn we have cops sitting at stop signs a lot. They'll be hidden. You know, they'll be like couple of cars back hidden, you know, parked, and you come to a stop sign and you roll through and they catch you, they're going to be on you, you know. So they don't, and we out here in Scarsdale, they don't really have cops sitting on stop signs too much, but they definitely have that out in Brooklyn. I've seen people get caught plenty of times. I've been in a car when one of my brothers many years ago got caught, but they definitely do sit on stop signs out there in Brooklyn. But yeah, so far, um, the rain isn't bothering it. As you see, that FSD may degrade warning has already gone away. Well, as soon as I speak it up, it pops right back up. You guys probably can't see it. If this was in the ultra wide view, you definitely would, but it popped up again. But it's not changing the performance. I've noticed before when it was a crazy downpour, yes, it would sometimes actually kick me out of FSD. So it would, tell me to take over, when it was like a crazy downpour. But other than that, FSD, works very well, and in the rain as well too. I never tested this out. I wasn't brave enough, to be honest, to test FSD out in the snow, even though we did have a good amount of snow this past winter. But I didn't have winter tires on because we don't normally get snow like this. The last couple of years may have gotten like maybe 1 or 2 snowstorms, but nothing substantial enough or long enough that we would need snow tires. You would be basically purchasing snow tires for like one or 2 days in the past. Now the way the snowstorm was, if we get another snowstorm like we did this year, I might think about getting some all season, or maybe some snow tires just in case. But I wasn't brave enough to test this car out with summer tires in the snow. People say that the cars do very well in snow with FSD, but I don't think setting up the car in the wintertime with summer tires with FSD would have been, the smartest thing to do. But hey, maybe next time. But so far, drive has been good. I think, back to the camera situation, the takes that I get is I do think that the DJI Osmo 6 is better in sunny situations because it has the aperture that's variable. So what is this, a police Tesla? It's the first time I've ever seen that. Look at that police Tesla. That's cool. But the apertures are variable, so you can go from 2.3 to 2.6 to 4.0 on the aperture on the DJI Osmo 6, whereas the Insta 360 Ace Pro 2, it's just a fixed aperture that you can't adjust it. The only thing that you can mess with is shutter speed and things like that to try to not allow as much light in, and or bring in more light in low light situations. So like I said, I think that the DJ has an advantage for that, but as an overall, I think the Ace Pro 2 is a better overall camera. The other thing that I did like about the DJI Osmo 6 was battery life. As we know, in the past, we've had issues with this camera on 8K overheating, or even on 4K 60 frames per second overheating as well after about maybe. So FSD getting a little sketchy right now. I kind of wish it would. Let me bump this down. I didn't like the way it did that turn on that lane. Felt like the car was going way too fast. In this area where we're at, this is like a sketchy road anyway. It's a very skinny 2-lane highway or parkway, whatever you want to call it. So it's already a little sketchy. So even when I'm driving, I see people, the way they react and handle it isn't the best. So let me just bring down. Maybe I should switch the profile, but I've never driven in anything other than hurry. Other than that little, taking that turn a little bit too fast, I don't see any real performance issues in the rain. We got somebody that's doesn't really care about the rain. I love how when people have trucks, they think that they're like impervious to weather conditions. Trucks can still lose traction. But yeah, so back to what I was saying. One of the things I did like about the DJ Osmo 6 is battery life. That thing can go on 4K 60 frames per second for about an hour and 40 minutes. Whereas this, even today, prior to coming to, when I was on my way to this customer, the first customer, I had it on 4K 60 frames per second, and it overheated at about 45 minutes. So that was, it has each camera seems to have its pros and its cons, definitely. So this truck is kind of coming up a little fast. Let me just position out of the way, so we don't want to be left lane camping. We don't want to be impeding traffic. And FSD is going to get back into that lane, which I would have liked him not to, because the car behind us is kind of approaching as well too. I mean, FSD did bump up the speed a little bit. Well, not a little bit. It's at 70 miles an hour now, so I guess it's not impeding. Still going with the flow now. But so far, like I said, so good. Other than that little squiggly two-lane parkway, I mean, FSD's done good. So once again, now it's slowing down, and then the guy kind of did go around me, but we really don't have a place to exit because the Camry's right there, and then this Ford F-150 is right there as well too. So yeah, FSD is not going to jump out of the left lane and put itself behind that car, then have to try to get into the right lane. No, it's going to stay where it's at. There was not enough space.
Front K-band.
But like I said, so my question, and I always ask this question to any of my viewers because I see this comment like almost every day. I see this, either a post or a comment. And yesterday it was both. Posted a comment, and then somebody comments, "Oh, I drove a FSD 14 version 4 hardware 4 version 14 car, and it's light years ahead of hardware 3." And I always say I use FSD every day, literally every day. Now, like, only reason before, when it was like snowing and all of that, I didn't use it because the potholes were just so bad at that point. But the potholes are, I mean, not saying that they're not bad, but they're not nearly as many as they were before. A lot of them got filled, so the roads are a lot better. I mean, they're not great roads out here in New York, but they're better. That was my only concern and my only reasoning behind not using FSD for a while, is just potholes. And that's just about it. I mean, in some cases also, FSD in New York City, I always tell people, everybody in New York City is so impatient driving. So yeah, there's times that certain times I would drive because I know that FSD is going to do everything legitimately correct. Like, it's going to come to full stops. It's going to, take off after greens. It's not going to be gunning it through reds turning greens, because in New York, as soon as the light turn green, you have people beeping you to move. So I just know that FSD is, even though I have it in hurry mode, it is on public streets. It is very, should you say, lax. It's not in a rush at all. So, but everybody's in a rush. So that's the only other reason that sometimes I would take over or drive. But other than that, like, I don't drive. Like, this car does everything for me. There's so many different situations that this car gets put into and it handles it well. And then there are times it does stupid stuff. The biggest problem I still have with any version, and hardware for people that are truthful, and from what I see on videos, is that they still have some of the same problems as well with the navigation. Even today on my way coming here, the car was accelerating in the left lane, and we needed to get over on the right. We need to get off, and I had to take over, and because I don't, and it seems to have done that every time I come to that customer's house too. For whatever reason, it doesn't seem to realize that we're supposed to get off. I don't know if this is just a glitch for that part of the navigation in that area and that exit. I've reported it a couple of times. I didn't report it this time, but that's not only a hardware 3 issue. That's an issue that people report on hardware 4. That navigation is an issue. So, we got a copper coming up. So let me drop this down because we are in a work zone. Yep, let's get out of the way of this car, because if he wants to speed by and get a ticket, let him do so. I don't know where that cop was or if it's a false reading, but I'm not trying to get a speeding ticket in the work zone, so no thanks. I'll slow it down. And that feature, to me, right there, I wish hardware 4 had that. And I know there's a lot of hardware 4 people that would love that feature. So the car we're in a 35 and it's a work zone, and we were doing 51. We were going with the flow of traffic, and if I didn't get the hit on the radar detector, I probably would have never dropped the speed, because that was the way the flow of traffic was going, right? So, but the fact that I got a hit and I was able to drop the speed down to the minimum, I believe I did, it was 35 or 40. I don't know exactly what I brought it down to, but I was able to bring it down, and the car just immediately changed speed and got down, so that if there was a cop, which I think it was a kind of false reading, but if there was a cop, I would have been fine because I would have been in the speed limit, right? So you can't do that in hardware 4. You cannot change the speed like that anymore. The speed is set in the profiles. So they have Mad Max, Hurry, what is it? Mad Max, Hurry, because they have basically all of the same. So they have Mad Max, Hurry, Standard, and Chill. So you would have to, the speed variables are in there. You cannot on the fly. And so I also seen another comment the other day about how someone was complaining that theirs doesn't work. That leaves me to ask the question of, I don't understand how some cars work and then some cars don't work well, because I've never ever had an issue with the speed, being able to change the speed like that. I've never had an issue. Let's see if this car is going to be able to get off this highway. I mean, get onto this highway. Let's see. Go. Take it. There we go. That guy kind of let us in too, so, because the car technically did it the polite way. The car didn't just cut him off. The car had his blinker on for a while, letting him know that, hey, we want to get over. So the guy he didn't, he wasn't as aggressive, because the car, that's basically like asking. That's asking permission to get in front. It's like one of the written rules with cars and getting over is, I don't mind. Same thing when I'm driving as well too. I'll let people up. FSD is being aggressive, and I love it. I will let people in on the highway if you ask. Like, just don't bogart me. I mean, I think that a lot of people feel the same way. Is just don't bogart me. Don't just how do you say, put pressure and just moving into my lane, forcing me to stop or forcing me to move over or forcing me to slow down. You know, ask. I will let people in. I don't mind letting people in, but I see that some people truly will just try to bogart, to try to assert their dominance, and that's when I don't like it. Is because, listen, I have the right to that lane, so technically I don't have to let you in. You know what I'm saying? But people are, that's New York. People are rude out here. They don't care. They don't have any real driver etiquette. So Tesla does have pretty good driver etiquette. It didn't just bogart into that lane. It put the blinker up. It had it out for a couple of seconds. The guy let us get over, and so we moved over. And good. So far, FSD, I mean, I haven't had to intervene, just, lower the speed because I don't want to get a ticket. There goes a Model S right there. That looks like it's got to be definitely a 21 to 25 because they don't make that blue color anymore. They got rid of that blue for 2026, and they scrapped it for the frost blue. So that has to be a 2021 to 25 at least. And I love that blue color too. I really do. Blue is my favorite color, so anything blue I like. Okay, so it's telling us. I was wondering, I hate the way sometimes the GPS does that. It's telling us to get off at Randall, which is exit 11, but there was an exit before that, technically, that we needed to get off on that it didn't really show. And I've had that, and don't even try to get that as a Tesla dock or their navigation, but I've had that using CarPlay as well too. Sometimes it doesn't notate each exit, and that's how sometimes you end up going the wrong way.
Speed camera ahead.
So we're a minute away from this customer. Why did Gronk pop up? We're a minute away from this customer, so this drive is about to be over. Let's see how it does with parking. And guys get to see how FSD Hardware 3, how it handles the rain in New York City, coming from Scarsdale to the Bronx. I think it did a very, very good job. That was about like a 30-minute drive. People still putting their hands out for taxis. This is not Manhattan. I mean, that's probably the only place that you're gonna be able to hail a taxi is in Manhattan. Not in Brooklyn. Everybody uses Ubers. You ain't gonna see no yellow cab or dollar cab in this part of the Bronx. So this is probably definitely not gonna find no parking because it doesn't even look like there's any street parking over here. And so yeah, it's just gonna pull over. So all right, it's the best that it can do right now for where we're at. So you guys tell me, what could have a hardware 4 car have done so much better than my hardware 3? I always tell people, I mean, yes, I would love hardware 4 because it does have some features that I like, but it is not light years ahead of hardware 3 like people love to say online. They are a lot closer than people think. I do drives all the time. I drive all the time. Every day I use FSD. To be honest, when I can't use FSD, I get annoyed because I can rest. I can relax and I don't have to be, you know, too hell-bent on focusing so much and checking everything. I still check stuff, but I'm glossing over. The car is doing majority of the drive now. But like I said, I would love hardware 4 features like the Arrive to be able to look for parking and things like that. So for example, with a hardware 4 car, if we would have put if we would have did end to end and we would have had the car look for a parking spot, technically it probably would be still looping around looking for a parking spot because it's trying to find a parking spot. So in this case, my car just pulled over, which is fine. I'm gonna go look for the parking spot. That's what I've turned into, is basically a valet for my own car nowadays. But yeah, I truly would like, in some cases, where I can just pull into a customer's driveway or find a parking spot. I would like those features to come to it, to what you call it. I would like the better reasoning. I do feel that some situations, if it had better reasoning, it would do better. But these situations that we're talking about, they're very minimal situations that don't happen often. They don't have to happen often enough. And I've seen this car handle certain situations very, very well. So like I said, I don't know what more do people want from hardware 3. It's a very, very good system still as it is in the form it is today. But let me let you guys go. Like as always, like and subscribe. The more you guys like and subscribe, the more it allows me to put out more content, and things like that. I didn't get a chance to do the hardware 3 hardware 4 comparison video last weekend like I was supposed to. Hopefully I'll be able to get it done this weekend coming up. But I'll see you guys next time.